Yeah, the city came and worked. They're one of our nonprofits. Yes, that's how I'm excited to wear that.
I saw beautification.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our final Harlem Arts Alliance meeting for 2024. Do you guys know that we've been together 10 months out of this year? 10 meetings we had. Celebrating you, celebrating the art in Harlem, celebrating culture in Harlem. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you. Today we have a really special presentation. There are 3 organizations. Harlem School of the Arts, clap it up.
Yeah.
Jazz Mobile, clap it up. New Heritage Theater Group, clap it up. 60 years, all 3 organizations. 60 years. And also, I just want to mention, big honorable mention to the Apollo celebrating 90 years. Yes. So 2024 is big for arts and culture in Harlem. We want to welcome you, and first up to the mic is the president of this amazing institution, Mr. James Horton, Harlem School of the Arts.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Good energy on a Friday before everybody disappears for the holidays. I'm not going to use this microphone. I'm really loud, okay? So it's really beautiful to have you here with us today. As Katrina said, we are ending our 60th anniversary year. It has been a magical year on many different fronts at the school. And we have a gift for you today. And I got to set this up the right way. I didn't give these to you when you first came in because there's a pretty magical thing that happened this year during our 60th anniversary. So this year, we had our 60th anniversary gala, which was May 20th, 2024. And we had the chance to honor some amazing folks. Devin Al Roper, Jennifer Jones, and Nicole Avon, along with her parents, posthumously, Jacqueline and Clarence Avon. Now, you may remember the name or know the name of Clarence Avon. Clarence Avon is the Black Godfather, which is a Netflix special that is on now, that is produced by Nicole. And so, upon honoring Nicole's parents, Nicole said, you know what, basically, hold my beer. Let me tap my network and see what I can do to support the school, to support the Harlem community, where my parents first met. They had their first kiss in Harlem, their first date in Harlem at the Apollo. And this community meant so much to her that she was the quintessential part of us raising $2.5 million to help give birth to something that we call the Jacqueline and Clarence Avon Scholarship and Arts Access Fund here at the Harlem School of the Arts. Making sure that no young person in Harlem would ever not be able to attend HSA because they didn't have the resources to get into the school. As a result of the inception of that scholarship and the starting of that scholarship this year, we saw a 25% increase. And we gave away $181,000 so far. We got roughly about $20,000 to give away for the spring semester program, which is open right now in Rome. And so Jacqueline and Clarence, I just want to thank them for their legacy and their work, and being able to build community, but also Nicole has stayed in contact with the school. She's continued to lean into the school and our kids and community. And just recently, last Sunday, she invited us to the Paley Center for Media right downtown to see a screening of the 6 888. Y'all heard that film?
Yeah.
So the 6 888, it actually comes out on Netflix today. We took about 35 students downtown, and we saw Tyler Perry, Nicole Lamont, and Kerry Washington. And during that screening, Nicole sent an email afterwards. Like, wait a minute, I want to make sure that your community has access to my parents' story, to my story. And also, Quincy Jones, who just transitioned to the nonprofit, and is a huge part about Quincy Jones in this book. So the gift from the Harlem School of the Arts, from Nicole Lamont to you, each one of you, please take one of these books. My colleague, Claudia Guzman, is going to help pass them out. I do want to get a picture of y'all just holding them up at some point today. But I cannot stress to you the importance of arts and culture during this time, right now. More so than ever, as we close out our 6th year and go into 2025. There's a lot in the world that's trying to keep us apart, y'all.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in the world that's going to continue to try to flex those muscles of divisiveness, of separation, to try to keep us apart. This, what you do, what we do, is absolutely critical to the advancement of the human race. Okay, so lean into the work, be unapologetically brave and bold in everything that you do, just like our founder, Dorothy Maynard, when she started this school 60 years ago, at the corner in the basement of the church, one student piano, and raised $2 million to build this 37,000 square foot art center. Not all superheroes wear capes. Some of them are 4'10", sing like a goddess, and are bold and brave and have insanely big visions for their community and their children. The documentary that you're getting ready to see was produced by our media and design team here at the school. The great Lana Turner, Harlem historian, fashionista, one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met in my life, provided the commentary for this film. She also led a series of professional development workshops for the team here to just sort of bring us into Harlem history, HSA history over the past year. So please enjoy our mini doc. It's emotional, so we don't have Kleenexes, but run to the bathroom and get some toilet paper. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Maynard did not start in New York. Dorothy Maynard grew up, she was born in Norfolk, Virginia, in September 3rd, I believe, 1910. And Norfolk, Virginia was and is a port town. There's a naval base there. The community that she grows up in is fairly sheltered. So even though segregation is the theme of the day, she is sheltered a lot from that because in this African American community, there are doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, there are ministers, in this bastion of, in this enclave of a Black community that has a lot of what the larger society has, but has it in its own cultural place. The musicians who are playing in the churches, many of them are trained. Some are playing classical music on Sundays. So it wouldn't be odd to hear Rossini's music coming from a black church. But you would also get fairly stylized spirituals coming out as well. Her father was a minister, and I think his father was a minister. So John Maynor, and their last name was M-A-I-N-O-R. So Dorothy Maynor changes her name professionally later on in life. But she's born as Dorothy Lee, L-E-I-G-H, Maynor. She is the sixth of her father's children, third of her mother's children. Her father was married before, and he had 3 children. With her mother, her name was Alice. Her mother was Alice Jeffries. She had 2 children who were older than Dorothy. Dorothy is the youngest of their 3. The brother and sister were also musicians, at least at home. I haven't been able to figure out what they did after, because so much is focused in on Dorothy. But I do know that early on, he was a tenor. Her sister was a soprano, who also played piano and organ. Music was an essential part of their family life. She's also, believe it or not, a shy person. I don't know if you get shy from all of these endeavors, but she's very shy, and in fact, she clings to her mother. Her mother's a housewife, so mother doesn't go out to work. She clings to her mother, and she really doesn't want to venture too far from home. That is not her goal. And in fact, her mother is very, what I would say, more than capable of creating clothing, and this is when people made things for themselves. So that was not unusual, but her mother was really more than adept at these kinds of crocheting and sewing, that sort of thing. And that's what Dorothy wanted to do. She had no idea that she would be in music. When she leaves Norfolk, and she leaves at the age of 14, she does not want to leave, but her teachers have decided that she would best be schooled if she were in a smaller environment. So it was thought that it would be better, at least for Dorothy, for her to attend Hampton. That's how she gets to Hampton. Norfolk is about 20 miles from Hampton Institute at the time. Smaller, personal, private attention. So she's reluctant, but she is dutiful. So enter Dorothy Maynor to Hampton Institute. She is this young girl, 14, 1924. And she is just marveling at all of this. Now, mind you, and she does well. She does well in these small classes. She gets personal attention. She gets all of this. But she's very serious about her work. Well, she's at Hampton, and she plays sports. She is making clothes in home economics. She is dutiful in her studies, and she adapts to a place that she was not initially interested in going to. But she takes in all of the other elements of the school, and in its ability to be rounded, as well-rounded as one can be, by bringing in the artists of the time, by bringing in the political people of the time, by having on display the art on the wall, in fact having an endowment with an institution where you actually go and get the art and kids actually watching and looking at it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different time.
Yeah.
But she takes all of this in. Where does it go? We never know where anything goes. But if we set the stage for it, Dorothy's stage that was set set the stage for the Harlem School of the Arts. You think about the visual, you think about the movement, you think about, you know, the people at the top of their game as instructors coming to, you know, not just teach and instruct, but also to show and to do at the same time. It was always about excellence. When we think about Dorothy's beginning, it was about excellence. I think Harriet Sumner Curtis, who was the dean at the school when Dorothy was there, saw something in her spirit and in her way, because when I read sometimes about some of Dorothy's contemporaries, they would say things like, oh, you know, we would go out and do something, but Dorothy wouldn't do it unless she was finished with her work. Or Dorothy made a beeline to go study while we were out, you know, having a picnic. So you always got the sense that she really understood what it meant to be serious about her work, what it meant to go forward with her ideas. And remember, she's still thinking about becoming a home economics teacher.
Right.
So she doesn't know she has a world stage to go to. She wanted to be like her mother. So let's go back there. And so she continued to sew, she continued to do all the academic things. But for class, for music class, because she was in the chorus, no, she was not a soloist. She was not identified as someone who was leading the charge. She was just one of 130 people. So the turning point for her, in terms of music, really comes from our Nathaniel Dett. Dett was already well known as a musician extraordinaire. He was from Canada. He attended several schools. By the time he's there, he'd already gotten honorary degrees because of his essays, for his writing. But what he really became known for were the spirituals. She signs up for music only after Dett has a serious conversation with her father. Her parents really factored into everything, so let's not lose sight of them. Her father agrees. Now, she didn't ask to be in the music program. That goes straight to her father, and her father determines this. And she, because she was the dutiful daughter, wouldn't think of going against her father. And besides, it wasn't something that she would not want to do, but it wasn't something that was in her particular roadmap, as she saw it. And her family, of course, agreed, and that's how she was able to get through it. Now, our Nathaniel Dett is a turning point. What happens for this, she morphs from being just the person in the chorus to someone who stands out for him. Why? She's in school about 2 years, and the chorus has a date at Carnegie Hall. Now, you can just get to Carnegie Hall, obviously, but they have a date at Carnegie Hall. And the soloist left school before the Carnegie date, our Nathaniel Dett, was at his wit's end. Who was going to replace the person who he had already picked out to do this solo? So he's trying out all of these people in the chorus, and he hasn't come up with anyone that he felt could really sing that role. Dorothy does not pop up and say, I'm going to do this. In fact, what she does, there is an organist whose last name is Hayes, who teaches at the school. And he does all these organ preludes, and you can always find them in the chapel. So she goes to him one day and says to him, oh, he just plays something. She gives him, you know, all kinds of accommodations. And then she starts talking about the weather, and he knows something's up. He says, okay, what's up, Dorothy? And she says, well, you know, Mr. Dett is really, you know, at his wit's end about trying to find a soloist. So he says to her, why don't you try? And she was like, well, you know, no, he says, why don't you try out? So he sits there, and they work on the song together. This is Hayes, the organist, with Dorothy Maynard. So that by the time She says to Det, "Let me try it." He picks her immediately. What Det does for her later on is to help her understand so much more about herself and her abilities. So that really is a part of where she really turns from home economics. She packs up and she comes to New York. Now, she doesn't have money. She's on 137th Street, off of 7th Avenue. She stays there until she can kind of get some footing. She has to figure out a job. She gets a job in Brooklyn directing a church choir. The church choir just happens to be the church of Shelby Rooks, who I think she had met when she was at Westminster. I read something where that might have been a connection. But nonetheless, she's at that church, and that's how she is making the money that she needs to just live, pay her rent, and that sort of thing. She realizes that the Y isn't going to be enough. She needs to be where she has a piano and the whole thing. So she gets an apartment. That doesn't quite work, but she manages. So 1939 is when she auditions for Serge Kossovetsky. And he's the conductor of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. When she starts singing, it is said that his head was in his hands like this. She starts singing, and he starts to rise. He can't believe what he's hearing. This is what put Dorothy on the map. They signed her up to Columbia Artists immediately. They would never do that. They'd never done that for anyone before. There is a place in history where Dorothy Maynard joins the quartet. She becomes the fourth of the quartet of Marian Anderson, Paul Robeson, Roland Hayes, and Dorothy Maynard. When you look at this kind of an individual who is selfless, who is determined, who is just going to get it done regardless, who is about excellence, there is something to be said for that. When Dorothy Maynard retires from the stage in 1963, she throws her energy into the church and the things that would aid her husband. Reverend Brooks, who was leading the church, had in fact, with his congregation, begun to look at the needs of Harlem's children. And prior to Dorothy Maynard coming off the stage, the church had in fact embarked on the acquisition of the building next to them, creating a recreational center. Also in 1967, she began a very aggressive campaign to raise monies for a new home for the school, largely because she had been using the recreational center that the church had founded, which she renamed the Harlem School for the Arts, but they were also using places within the church to operate the Harlem School of the Arts.
My name is Basil Jackson, Dr. Basil Jackson. I'm Vice Chairman of Carver Federal Savings Bank. She had an idea about providing these services and started the school in her husband's church. Very soon found that it was so successful they needed to expand. Now, we're talking now about starting the school perhaps in 1964, 65, and they got to a point where it was well beyond the capability of the facility to handle it. probably in the early 1970s. And that's the point in time when she came to see me. She didn't come to me directly. She started by going to every major bank in New York City. Chase Manhattan Bank, Citibank, you name it, all the banks, with an idea that she had of building a new structure that will provide modern facilities for perhaps as many as 1,000 students who would be educated after the normal school hours, after 3 o'clock. She was declined by all the banks in the city of New York. As a last effort to find financing, she came to the Bowery Savings Bank, where I was, at that time, Senior Vice President and the Chief Lending Officer for the Bowery Savings Bank. Now, to put this in perspective, this is in 1973, 1974, so almost 50 years ago. The concept that she had made sense from the point of view of providing social benefits to local community children. But she didn't have a business plan. She didn't have any source of income to either pay for the construction of the building or the ongoing operation of the school. And that's the reason that every other bank turned her down. Unfortunately, the first meeting that I had with Dorothy Maynard, she presented her proposal to me with exactly those shortcomings. No obvious way to pay the money back. And so our first meeting was on a Friday afternoon. Unfortunately, it lasted for less than 20 minutes. At that time, I told her no. This is not the type of loan that the Bowery Savings Bank would like to make at this point in time. I'm sure she thought that was the end of our conversation and the end of any further negotiation. But as it turned out, I had dinner that weekend with my father and mother. And after I explained the visit that I had and mentioned the name Dorothy Maynard, both my father and mother were really very surprised to the extent that my father dropped a silverware into his plate and said, son, don't you know who you're talking to, who you're dealing with? Dorothy Maynard is a famous, world-renowned artist, somebody of enormous talent and integrity. And in addition to that, Dorothy Maynard went to Hampton University with your father and with your mother and I. We were classmates. We know her. We know that she would not waste your time coming to you with a proposal that didn't have some basis in fact and ability to repay the loan. My dad said, and I'm going to quote him, Junior, you find a way to make that loan to Dorothy Maynard. I took those instructions very seriously. Called up Dorothy Maynard on Monday morning, and I said, I think I'd like to spend a little more time with you to understand the details of your proposal. What exactly are you planning to do? And she said, come up to the church this afternoon. You can see the kids, you can see the type of program we're running, why we need more space, and I'll explain the details of what I intend to do. I visited, saw the kids, saw the way she organized things and the control that she had over these youngsters who maybe were 5, 6 to 10 years old. How they were so enthusiastic and energetic in pursuing, learning to play a violin or piano. And when we sat down to talk, she explained that for almost 10 years, she had been working with the Board of Education, getting students to agree, students and their parents to agree, and after school, they would come to the church and exposed to 2-3 hours of formal program in music and arts. Parents would then take them home, and the Board of Education would pay a stipend for each pupil. At that time, I think the figure was $500 per semester for each pupil. So that was one source of income that she anticipated as a way to repay the loan. In addition to that, she made it clear that not only did she have the support of the local community, but because of her stature, because of her world-renowned fame, she had friends on Wall Street and throughout the country who were interested in participating through charitable contributions, through fundraisers, through any number of opportunities to bring money to the school to support the program if she got it off the ground. As it turned out, they never had to advance not one penny. Dorothy Maynard, through her income from the Board of Education, through the charitable contributions, through the galas, the various activities that she had each year, paid me back $1 million each year to reduce the principal, plus 8% interest on that $1 million, and paid the loan off in full in 4.5 years. Dorothy Maynard was a spectacular performer, but also was an unrecognized businesswoman of tremendous ability.
In 1968, she had invited Arthur Mitchell, a very famous ballet dancer, as we know, to teach ballet classes to the students of the new dance department here at the Harlem School of the Arts. So in 1975, she became the first African American to be elected to the Metropolitan Opera Board of Directors. So while she never sang on the stage of an opera with an opera company, she was the first to be elected to be on the board of directors for the Met. In 1977, Dorothy Maynard was able to see one of her crowning glories, and that was to be able to move into her new, for the community, for the kids, for the parents, for the teachers, for everyone, her new award-winning facility, the Harlem School of the Arts. So in 1963, she develops this plan. She gets these 20 students. She doesn't make an announcement about the school starting. Instead, by December of that year, she posts a notice, or even before then, to get those 20 students, it was one mother talking to the other mother. Oh, you know what's happening? This lady is teaching. Oh, so this is how she gets these 20 students. Word of mouth. But by December of that year, 1963, she posts a notice on a nearby school with the notice says something about music for anyone. If you come with a child, the child has to come with a parent. And what she discovered were a stampede. Dorothy Maynard had to close the registration. She didn't have enough teachers. I don't think anybody thought that any of this could happen quite that way. But what she did have was the support of the church, and I think this is very important. The church was a varied congregation, many business owners, black middle class congregation by and large, very healthy numbers there, about 2,000 people in that congregation. And they were gratified. They were gratified and amazed at the same time. So they came up with the money for her to hire, at the outset, 2 more teachers, one for art and one for dance, to aid Dorothy in the school. The school garnered a little bit over 300 students. And by this time, there were 12 teachers. She was the director, the executive director. She had an office assistant and a custodian. But how does she start envisioning a larger facility? Because she is growing all the time. She calls on people that she met through her professional life as a concert recitalist. Her early supporters were people like Catherine Rorimer. And Catherine Rorimer, her husband was James Rorimer, who was the director for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. She had artistic supporters in addition, because she had categories. She had artistic supporters, people like Vladimir Horowitz, Walter Toscanini. These were her auxiliary supporters. She comes to meet a guy named Stuart Root in her, there's a gentleman that's on the board who's a friend of Stuart Root. And Stuart is the person who understands the finances behind real estate. He is a very astute lawyer in real estate on Wall Street. And she asks him to join the board, and he does. The two of them go out, and they press funders. She talks about her vision from a very humane way, and he is the one who talks about it from the aspects of how the financing should work. They were a duet. And it's with her nonstop, must-do, charitable attitude that creates the Harlem School of the Arts. One of the things that she would say, the foresight to have art. That man or woman is not made by bread alone. That you must have beauty all around you, and to have something to aspire to. So creating a facility like this that would span in its sort of horseshoe-looking way, having a great facility that when you walked in, immediately you knew you were someplace. And when you looked beyond this, you also knew you were someplace. But it was also its own fort. You were here for business, and she wanted you to know that as well. So much of what Dorothy grew up with was also the stamp that she left for the Harlem School of the Arts. She had much in the way of support. There were people who supported her through governmental systems, through private donations, through foundations, large foundations, individuals. She had members of her board who actually were able to secure, along with the Women's Committee, to secure the land, but then to start looking at what it would take to secure the monies going forward to build a building. Well, that was something altogether different. There were 3 board members who could put in maybe $1,000 each, still some money in the early 70s. But she had to raise the rest of it. She sat down with with the architect, Ulrich Franzen, and that is to say that what works for her is someone for whom she could spend time with to discuss her vision. The vision was not so much in the total design, although she would approve of it, not in the total design of what the school would look like. She was interested in designing a building with the purposes of what the children would want to do within its walls. How would they feel? She didn't want to design a building that was nice and then you put the kids in it. She wanted the kids, the children, the learners, the pupils, even if they were adults, to come first. Dorothy Maynard had a limited budget, limited time, and limited scope, but it had to deliver everything that was in her head. Anyone walking in here, being on the inside of the gathering space, looks out onto the gathering space in its most natural way, as to be an enclave, as to be a place where you are protected, as a place where you are loved, as a place where music still fills the air and words still mean something, where discipline pays off, where education is always in its most highest form, where art, in all of its glory, are the things that she wants every individual to walk into the building and to understand that the art of the person, the art that you will experience, the art that you will take away, is also all around you too. In Dorothy's own words, especially as she looked forward to seeing the building, the Harlem School of the Arts, in her words, and yet, wonder of wonders, as I know from daily experience, hundreds, thousands of Black men and women and children in Harlem refuse to allow the flame of joy and hope and anguished desire to go completely out. Given half a chance, they can and they will, in the lifetime of some of us, undo the cruelties of 3 centuries and add to the human and spiritual wealth of this nation. This is why I have such a longing for a home for the Harlem School of the Arts. It will be, admittedly, a drop in the bucket, an oasis of hope in a surrounding sea of despair, a healthy cell in a badly diseased body. But it will be a start towards the binding up of a wound that has been festering for a long, long time. I picture the school's new home as a sanctuary, a refuge for those in search of that which will give the body and substance to their dreams, for families, father, mother, children, freed for a brief moment from the drab, cramped quarters, misnamed home, while they explore what it means to be together in a world they have never known. The world of music and drama, and the dance and other handmaidens of joy and freedom. We live in a rich and favored land, and I have no hesitation in seeking whatever it may cost in dollars, millions of dollars, from individuals, foundations, local, state, and federal governments to build and equip this facility.
Thank you so much for engaging with our history. Happy holidays to you. And if I can, real quick, each of you have received a book. If you have not, we will have one for you. Be sure to go to the back and grab one. If you can just hold them up for us, please. We'd love to get a picture. Beautiful, hold them up high. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Thank y'all so much. Happy holidays. Thank you.
So I learned so much. What an amazing, amazing film. Thank you so much, James, for sharing that with us and for giving us a history of this amazing place. You know, it's just a reminder that everything starts with a thought, right? And so this woman, she had this thought, and look where we sit right now because of the dream that she had. So thank you again, James. Next up, we are going to show a film for Jazzmobile Unfortunately, Robin could not be with us today, but she sent us an amazing piece of art to help celebrate the 60 years that Jazzmobile has been serving the Harlem community and New York City as a whole. So let's play the video for Jazzmobile. Thank you. And so on Monday, something really special happened. I think many of you were in the room when we celebrated the 60th anniversary of the new Canada. We put a huge smile on this gentleman's face. I think he's going to smile some more today in a minute. Welcome to the stage, Vosa Rivers. Yeah.
I wanted to say thank you. Well, what's important for me is collaborations, and you know, this film that the first film that we just looked at with Dorothy Maynard. I know about the institution, but you never get the foundation of how these things happen. And this was really an educational moment to understand a desire for a woman to share and to create something, and the support that she gathered along the way. I'm quite sure it was very, very difficult for her. But we are here enjoying the fruits of her labor early on, but we also are in a position to have a higher sense of appreciation for what this institution is, what it continues to be. Under the leadership of James, who I met when he was at the Museum of the City of New York, doing the same thing, I knew he was special. And to see this documentary that they've created is an example of what commitment, hard work, partnerships, and collaborations mean and can do. And I am so pleased that 3 of the institutions are celebrating their 60th. Unlike Dorothy Maynard and what she contributed to this institution, 60 years ago, when I got involved in theater, I had no vision that I would do anything of this magnitude that I had been heard. When I was introduced to the founder of the theater in '64, I came as a volunteer to assist him, but not to be a part of a theater company. That was not something that I wanted to do. That was not something that I was thinking about. But his vision and his story of what happened 40 years earlier in 1940 was that he was a member of the American Negro Theater. And in his class was Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Ruby Dee, and Ozzie Davis. And when he mentioned that, '64 was the same year that Sidney Poitier won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Film, so I knew the name Sidney Poitier. But I was not involved in any theatrical presentations. I didn't see any Broadway or off-Broadway plays. I was involved with other activities. But I did know that I listened to Roger Furman, who was a member of that group, and to listen to him enthusiastically talk about what it was like in 1940 when these 6 or 8 actors were students and they were in their early 20s coming together. And I thought that was a very, very interesting story. But little did I know that I would become part of that history. I volunteered to be a part of a theater company, knew nothing about theater, and Roger said, I want you to help me. I need a maintenance person, I need a chauffeur, I need someone who can clean up the theater when people are not there, I need someone in the box office. I said, I'll do any of that because I heard what you have accomplished with the members of the American Negro Theater, so I will volunteer to do that. I did that for 6 years, no compensation because I was a volunteer and I did not want compensation, I wanted to assist. Again, Roger, after 6 years, came to me and said, you know, you've done everything that I've asked you to do, but you have other skills that I don't have. I want to concentrate on being a producer, director, playwright, and I need someone to handle the business affairs in the theater, and I think that you would be a great partner in doing that. And I thought about it, and I said, does it mean that I give up my other job, the box office manager is reading? He says, no, you can still do that too. But I also need you to be a part of the management team. So I took that on, and a few years later, Roger died of AIDS. And the theater and the board was not prepared for that. And of course, I wasn't prepared for it either. Roger died without a legacy, without us planning on his future because he was in his early 50s and he died a year after he was sick. The board said to me, Rosa, Roger's not here. You're the connecting tissue of what the business side is and what you learned from Roger. I said, yes, but I am not Roger Furman. I will not be able to step up and step into his footsteps because I don't know that much about theater. They said, but you gave to theater. You were part of Roger and his planning for this institution. And I said, yes, you're correct. But his reputation in theater was something that I knew that I wasn't prepared for. I told the board that we should do a search for someone to step up into that position because I knew a lot of directors that I had met, a lot of playwrights, and I thought that that would be the route to go by. I said to them I would not accept the position. The next morning, I received a call from Ruby D. And Ruby D said, you will accept the position. And I said, Ruby, and I explained to her why I didn't think. She said, Bosie, put all of that aside. Roger believed in you, and he thought, and he told everyone that he had a partner that could continue the work that he was doing. And that is the history of the 60-year journey with me and Roger Furman Theater that exists today. We had a wonderful celebration on Monday. But what was more important is a lot of the members of the Harlem Arts Alliance turned out. And there was one person who came out. Her name is Lori Cumble. Lori Cumble, as we know, is the Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs for New York City. And Lori reminded me that a number of years ago, we, the Black theaters, 8 of us, 8 Black theater organizations came together because we realized that there were comparable theaters with similar budgets that were downtown as the groups that were uptown, but the downtown groups received more support than the ones uptown. But yet we had the same budgets, we're doing the same kind of work. So 8 organizations, we got together and we petitioned the city council to correct that inequity. And we were kind of put off. Again, Ruby D. I called Ruby D, myself and Woody King, and we told Ruby D what was happening. She said, we're going down there, we're gonna straighten this out. And what she did is called a press conference on the steps of City Hall around this inequitable funding for the theaters of color. There were 8 of us initially. We got approved for an additional $8 million to create the Coalition of Theaters of Color. Lori Cumble reminded everyone on Monday that there are now 54 theaters of color and the budget is $80 million. But she said, this is what happens when you stay together and you work together as a collective. That's what the Harlem Arts Alliance is about. When I hear that the people in East Harlem are not connected to West Harlem or Washington Heights or Inwood, but we're all one community. Somebody years ago decided to put these boundaries around where we live and what we do, and a lot of times we believe in those boundaries, but they don't define who we are. We were very fortunate, a little over a year ago, that people started reading about the Harlem Arts Alliance, and it was during the height of apartheid, not I was going to say apartheid, but it was the things that were happening where the members of the Harlem Arts Alliance, we had to take a back step because of the conditions that were happening for the last 4 years, right? McDonald's did a search because they were very interested in supporting an art service organization, but we didn't know that. We didn't have any relationship with McDonald's. And McDonald's said that we would love to be able to support the organization and to reestablish the members who were not able to afford to be members. And I said, well, individual members only pay $25 or $50 for a year membership. And they said, well, that's good. What about the organizations? I said, depending on the size of the organization, the most any large organization would contribute is $500. They said, oh, that sounds good. Well, I'm going to give you guys $100,000. And I want you to let the people in the Alliance know that 100 members of individual artists would be given complimentary membership to the Harlem Arts Alliance. And 100 organizations, you could also sign up and give them complimentary. They wanted to see us grow and become stronger and stronger and stronger. So for those of you who are here and you're not a member or you did not register to be a member, before you leave, you give us your information so that you can all walk away today by being a member of the Harlem Arts Alliance. Thank you.
Roger Furman had a few sort of famous sayings. One of the ones he's best known for is, don't bring me no bad vibes, only love. Don't bring no bad vibes, only love.
Don't bring no bad vibes, only love. When I hear the name New Heritage Theater, I have to go back to the roots of why and what and when. So New Heritage Theater Group morphed from New Heritage Repertory Theater, a theater founded by Roger Furman in 1964. During that time, I had no idea that I would be in the theater more than 60 days.
Well, there's not much in the name to me. It's what's behind the name. And so when I think of New Heritage, I think of Roger Furman. I think of Vivian Robinson. I think of Rosa Rivers. I think of Jamal Joseph. I think of Phyllis Stickley, and I think of Andre Robinson. And when I think of those persons, I think of creativeness, I think of beauty, I think of love.
New Heritage Theater has indeed been here. It is a foothold. It has lasted for 50 years, and I am extremely grateful that they are in the community. I'm extremely grateful that New Heritage Theater Group exists, because without them, I don't know how much theater would be happening in Harlem.
I think the philosophy that New Heritage instilled in me, I would say, because I had such a short period of time with Roger, he spoke often about a kind of excellence that he did not see, but he was certainly determined for us to sort of get there.
Roger was a hard taskmaster. He made the actors cry. He knew how to push those buttons and get the best out of them. There's one particular actress named Phyllis Stickley, and she was a fine actress, but she did not reach her peak, and Roger knew how to get her there.
Oh Lord, here come this crazy Jamaican woman. She get on my nerves. So now he was just telling me, Phyllis, I want you to arrive at the bar like a crazy old man. Coming out right here, something like that, my let's look up on their face. I say, man, you what one? You just tell me to come here, so I don't know nothing about what's going there. Who does the people is in there talk to? And after we had thoroughly shaken the people there at the bar, he would laugh and say, hey, she's something else. This is my girl. This is my lady. This is my killer. This is my killer.
When Roger died, I wanted to validate the theater under my direction and the new team. I went to a woman by the name of Chanel Perry, one of the well-known female directors of color, to come to work with Andre and I and Phyllis in producing Stryver's Row. Roger dies in 1983, Phyllis, Andre, and I, we take over, and we're gonna try and figure out how to make this theater work.
So then the caliber of production became our distinction in the marketplace because people weren't expecting us to be able to deliver at that level up there with so few resources. So by the time Rosa Albert arrived, it was just this moment where everything kind of came together.
A person from South Africa, a young man, Duma and Grubel, took Phyllis and myself and Andre down to the Lucille Hotel Theater to see this play called Rosa Albert, and our lives were changed. We had never seen theater like we saw down there.
That became kind of a historical moment of itself because there was no news really coming out of South Africa at that time. And the response from the audience was so powerful that it almost felt like we just had to see the tiger by the tail. All of a sudden we were being reviewed by people downtown, people were starting to pay attention to what we were doing.
Cinemali, Rosa Albert, Sarafina, Township Fever, Sheila's Day, all of those were shows that were done within our theater and then went to other theaters and then of course around the country. A wonderful relationship that lasted for about 15 years.
In 1997, I came to Rosa Rivers with an idea, and the idea was to form a youth theater program in Harlem because there was a great need. This was a time when Harlem was suffering under the weight and the devastation of the crack epidemic, and we was literally seeing kids get gunned down in the community. So I came to Rosa and I asked would New Heritage Theater be the fiscal conduit. And for the first time and only time, Rosa Rivers told me no. And after taking a dramatic pause, he said, we won't be fiscal conduit. This needs to be a New Heritage program.
Jamal laid out a plan. They said, you know what, Rosa, the first thing we're going to do is create a new paradigm for the theater, and then we changed the name to New Heritage Theater Group. Second was we had a youth division, which became Impact Repertory Theater. We had a film division, which became New Heritage Films, and we had Furman Theater Rep, so Roger Furman's name will continuously live in everything we do. And today, we're here celebrating the 17th anniversary of Impact, the 17th anniversary of New Heritage Films, and the 7th anniversary of Furman Theater Rep, and the 50th anniversary of New Heritage. What a glorious time.
What people really need to do when they think about New Heritage is understand the appendages of New Heritage. Look at Impact, that's New Heritage, and that's the future.
It was very important for New Heritage to have a youth division theater Impact because it gives the young people a chance to express themselves in musical theater. So all of the material that you see Impact do is original material, written and inspired by the young people.
New Heritage for me in Impact has been like an incubator, just a way to like grow ideas and to have a wealth of knowledge and resources to get you to what it is that you need, whether it be songs or mentorship or a network of artists.
New Heritage Theater to me is the parent organization of Impact. It teaches me that you really can truly be an artist. It said, you can do this and we'll have your back, and allowed us to change the world using our form of creativity.
The history of the theater is quite remarkable because over the last 50 years, we've done over 1,000 presentations, films, theater, musical events, workshops and readings. And we've employed over 2,000 artists over the last 50 years. And that is really a remarkable track record.
I think the next 50 years for New Heritage will be built on a platform that's already been well established for it.
I am being groomed to help take over and run New Heritage Theater along with the other young, well, I can't say young people, the other people of my stature in Impact Repertory Theater. I think of pioneers like Chanel Perry, Ruby Dee, Ozzie Davis. I think of the path that they have laid before us for us to continue to journey on.
It's a wonderful legacy, and to be a part of it, you want to enrich what is already there, but like the name, to hold on to our heritage, but to always be moving forward in the new.
I don't know if New Heritage is ready for it, because I mean, the fire, the drive that we have, we're itching to like take over. So the moment they give us the little bit of like freedom that we get, or the little bit of growth that they allow us to do now, can you imagine it in 5, 10 years when we're actually running the company full? Like it's just, oh my goodness, it's just phenomenal the way I see the company growing, and it's, no one's ready for it. No one.
Don't get commercialized. You know, stay true to yourself, you know, and continue to use the arts to change the world in a positive way.
You keep walking until you can't take another step, and you listen to the music, and you keep on walking.
How dare we not be brilliant based on what the foundation that was laid down by our ancestors that we inherited. So heritage is a nice word that captures all of what it is that we do.
In the memories we share every day.
So what is it going to look like from its margins? What does the law look like from its underside? We have seen the underbelly of the American legal system. And that hard-won and often painful knowledge has given us a perspective on the law whose value, in my view, is immeasurable.
The whole 1920s into the 30s was a period of the hot between jazz.
Duke was here, Basie was here, Fletcher Henderson was here. Black musicians had just come out of a period of big band jazz. This is 1945. Bebop had just hit the world. Now understand what a mind blow this was to most black people. There is a revolution going on in Harlem. A revolution, it happened here.
How do I know Tevin? It's so long ago, I don't have a clue.
Evan's an artistic mad scientist. The stage was like those clinical trials. Let me share this with the people to grow from that experience.
The idea is you start with the scales and you learn all the scales, and Tevin skipped all that.
One day I was teaching at school at 811X, and Jamal called and said, Tevin, we just been nominated for Academy Award. I said, really?
Well, the most important thing I heard from Belafonte was hard work. Hard work. He was serious about what he did, and he would challenge you very easily in terms of why you believe something, what was your foundation, and what were you prepared to do to support your beliefs.
Just to hear him speak, gives me goosebumps. He always talked about the connection to activism and the arts, using your gifts and your powers and whatever artistic ability you have. He would always just encourage us to don't get commercialized, stay true to yourself, and continue to use the arts to change the world in a positive way. He's the true definition of an artist.
I had no interest in seeking public office until one day Ray Jones, first black head of Family Hall, he said to me, boy, you want to run for the assembly? I said, oh, I guess. And after that, I was hopelessly hooked on public service.
And really, we were a gang of 4 people who had our own paths and no obligations to any organizations that worked so well together. And as David would say, we had a real mosaic of people and themes and ideas that would just fit in whenever the opportunity would come.
I grew up wanting to be a professional athlete. I played football, baseball, basketball. And so in my junior year, I was cut from the varsity basketball team. I didn't handle that well, and I began to rebel. I go to school late, I go to school. But my older brother had all the cars, he had the jewelry, he had the girls, and part of me wanted that life, but I'm an athlete, I'm not doing that. But when my dream was shattered during my junior year, I said, well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna work at McDonald's? Or am I gonna drive these fast cars and wear the jewelry my brother has and the clothes that my brother has? And I know how he's getting.
There are articles published about what adults think about politics, and they sometimes get read to children, but we're publishing an article about what children think about politics and sharing it with adults.
We did so many schools and they all have answers that says they have proof that children have thoughts about politics.
Most of the time, when people make surveys, they give them to adults because it's like sort of the natural response to making something complicated is like maybe the kids can't handle this, but we were thinking also that people need to find out children's ideas. They have ideas also.
It is very humbling for me to go into a room and sit down with a young person who's 20 years old, and their choice is the death penalty or life in prison at age 20. I did not go to school to become a death penalty lawyer. I didn't begin my career as a death penalty lawyer. And if African American people had not stayed home and allowing George Pataki to be elected governor in this state, I would have never done a death penalty case. Because George Pataki ran on, wanted to reinstate the death penalty in New York State. Now, it didn't matter to anyone that we had a lawyer in this state that had tried a death penalty case at that time in more than 25 years. So the system had to hurry up and train people to represent defendants in death penalty work.
So we were beginning to see less and less of him because he was so far away. One time I came into my buildings and I heard the piano playing. I knew it was him. Yeah, I hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 weeks. So I went into the room and we had a conversation. And I told him, you know, gotta stay close here. Gotta stay close here. Because, you know, you gotta be safe. He was with the wrong crowd on Staten Island. DeWitt was not a criminal. He was not a drug dealer. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. And he was murdered, shot in the back, Staten Island.
Oh,
17. That was the roughest phone call I've ever taken in my entire life.
Over those years that make up childhood, an estimated 10 million American children experience having an incarcerated parent.
My dad and my mom got into a fight after I got hit by a car and sent me to the hospital with 2 broken legs. He went to jail, and my mom ran off with all the food stamps and stuff. She actually became an addict because of my dad.
My father has been incarcerated 59 times over the course of my life.
And so when I think of New Heritage, I think of Roger Furman. I think of Vivian Robinson. I think of Rosa Rivers. I think of Jamal Joseph. I think of Phyllis Stickney, and I think of Andre Robinson. And when I think of those persons, I think of creativeness, I think of beauty, I think of love.
New Heritage Theater has indeed been here. It is a foothold. It has lasted for 50 years, and I am extremely grateful that they are in the community. I'm extremely grateful that New Heritage Theater Group exists, because without them, I don't know how much theater would be happening in Harlem.
Most of the drummers in those days, they would be playing the cymbal and keeping time. But Chick Webb played something that would enhance what they were playing and give it more feeling and more meaning.
Chick was the first drummer who made sense in a big band. He knew how to shade and color and how to bring a band up and keep it there.
Chick drew drummers by the dozens where he was working. He was playing so clean and fast and technical. Had a kind of drive that's impossible to describe if you weren't there to feel it.
How people were lost going to prison and nobody even thinks about them today or calls their name. And that's why when I do a litany of names, I call the names of those brothers still in prison. And I call the name of Asata Afeni. I call the names of Rosalie, Archbishop Tutu, John Henry Clark, Bob Moses, Green Mother Moore, Septima Clark,
actually was taken from the blues. Because back when I first started, there was no R&B. There was just the blues, gospel, country and western. That's how my whole career started. When people ask me about the United States, they don't say how are things anywhere else but in New York, Harlem.
The American Negro Theater was an incredible experience. Oh my God. With Abram Hill and Fred O'Neill, and we had classes in acting and speech and drama and fencing and reading.
The American Negro Theater was one of the first theaters to create works by blacks and then take it down to Broadway as a theater company.
Harlem was the most segregated place I know when I came in. I was shocked because I had heard so much about Harlem. On 125th Street, Woolworths, you couldn't go in there and sit at the counter. Child's Restaurant on Lenox Avenue, no black person could go in there and get served. The Lotus Theater, you could go there, but you had to go upstairs, the same as you did down south. And this was in Harlem. And the Savoy was different because that was ours. And we let everybody know that was ours.
Actually, most of the movies that Whitey's Lindy Hoppers did, I choreographed the routines for the movies. But you will never see my name up there saying, well, Frankie Manning did this. You know, musicals, you see dances staged by such and such a person. And all the studios had a dance director, so he had to get credit. It was, when we went out there, he said, well, do you have a routine that you do? So I said, yeah, so we did our routine. And he says, well, that's good. Do it like that. And that was his contribution. But that was all that he did. He said, you have to do that. So that's what we did.
The name James Mercer Langston Hughes was given to him after his grandfather. In 1947, he moved to Harlem, New York. He's quoted as saying, I'd rather live in a 3-floor walk-up in Harlem than a mansion in Westchester.
Wow. New Heritage Theater Group, 60 years. Harlem School of the Arts, 60 years. Jazz Mobile, 60 years. It's hard to do anything for 60 years. 60 years, you guys, that is such a big deal. 2024 has been an incredible year for the Harlem Arts Alliance. I want to back up a little bit to that incredible opportunity that Rosa mentioned with McDonald's. It was such an awesome experience, and I just want to shout out some of the artists that are in the room. We're going to do a few highlights, but for those of you that don't know, the artist that won that contest was our very own Aletha Brown. Aletha and I and Rosa went down to Times Square and we saw her original art on one of the biggest screens down there. It was the top of 2024. It was an incredible experience. It's one of those things that I'm imagining as an artist you dream about, right? To be able to go down to Times Square and right there. And it was like one of the biggest screens. It was so incredible. The Harlem Arts Alliance logo was there. I said, look at you, Vosa, back on Broadway. And so I also want to put some quotations also around what Vosa said around the membership. Each artist and organization in this room right now, I hope you signed in, because that's what we're going to use for your 2025 complimentary membership. Thank you to McDonald's, thank you to Kerwin Frost. They were promoting a Kerwin Frost box, which was like an adult, for lack of a better term, Happy Meal box, right? And so the artists were charged with creating something original around that theme, and that's how Aletha got on the top of the McDonald's at Times Square. Speaking of amazing talent, 2024 brought us some new members. And so, feast your eyes on the work of King Saladin over here to my right. And so we connected with this artist because we're here, right? And I was like, James, who did that? And so this young man is now a part of the Harlem Arts Alliance. I'm sure we'll be seeing some more of him in 2025. And we want to give it up for also Angelo Ellerby, who has joined the Harlem Arts Alliance as well. And also Soul City Network, shout out to Matt and Jasmine in the building. Yes, we are going to see some more from them in 2025. And so I just want to, again, just acknowledge all of the new artists that we have. We will continue to attract more artists and more talent to add to the amazing fabric in Harlem. This year, we promoted hundreds of events. Thank you all for continuing to send us your events so that we can share them with the community. I know we flood your inbox, right? And so there's always something going on, but we just want to make sure that we're here to support the artists and that we are promoting the work that you're doing. So we're going to keep sending those emails. You keep sending us your information, and we will keep sharing it with the community. Before I wrap up, I want to also give a massive shout out to the incredible Isaiah, our tech support here. He has been on it. Thank you, Isaiah. And of course, I want to shout out some of our amazing partners, James Horton, Harlem School of the Arts. And also, we are blessed to have Jared Leak from Riverbank State Park in the building. Curtis Archer, the voice of Harlem. And also Barbara Horowitz from Community Works is here. Shout out to Richard Pelzer, Harlem Fine Arts Show, and also Joanna Castro from the West Harlem Development Corp. Donna Walker-Kuhn, thank you for being here and being such an amazing partner, and Amy Sprecher as well from Building Community. Your support is invaluable. Let's just give ourselves another round of applause. We are going to have a few artist updates, and then we have an amazing spread, and we're gonna do some mingling. We got some food today, y'all. We got some food today, y'all. And so first up is Martin Collins. Uptown Arts Stroll Coordinator, Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And on behalf of Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance, we want to congratulate for 60 years of excellence, the New Heritage Theater Group. All of us very, very, very proud of you. At the Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance, the 23rd Uptown Art School Poster Contest is underway and open for submissions. The deadline is March 16th. This year, the grand prize winner will receive $2,000. You must either reside or work in West Harlem, Washington Heights, and live from West 125th Street to 20th Street. In addition to the grand prize $2,000, you'll also get the front cover of the 5,000 printed guides that we will print and distribute throughout the 3 neighborhoods, the masthead for the website, all the posters, palm cards, and collateral, including the masthead, again, for the website. That's $2,000, a grand prize for the winning 2025 Uptown Art Stroll poster contest. $1,000 for second, $500 for third. There are bilingual flyers in the back, along with my card and many other information that I'll discuss in just a moment, but we encourage you to help us reach out to the community and make everybody aware in all three neighborhoods, but here today, especially in West Harlem, make folks aware of the opportunities and the awareness of this prize throughout the three neighborhoods. We have a call for art as well for the very popular now 16th annual Women in the Heights, which is open through February 5th. You may see our website and also these flyers which are in the back. This is open to all self-identified women artists working or residing in El Barrio, Inwood, Washington Heights, or Harlem, above 110th Street on the west side, west of Fifth Avenue, and above 96th Street on the east side, east of Fifth Avenue. NOMA has 4 affordable studios, and they are truly affordable, priced with artists and arts organizations in mind, at 4140 Broadway and West 176th Street. You can see these cards and the QR code for more information. You're also able to book a studio on our website. NOMA's current exhibition, Rituals, Rites, and Routines, and cards are in the back as well, has 43 artists, the names of all the artists from West Harlem, Washington Heights, and Inwood on these cards. And that exhibition, Rituals, Rites, and Routines, is on view through February 6th at our gallery at 4140 Broadway and West 176th Street. Our gallery hours are 4 to 7 p.m. Thursday, 1 to 5 p.m. Saturday, except holidays. And if you need an appointment for another day, just send an email, studios@nomanyc.org. We will have a pre-stroll concert with award-winning jazz impresario Emmett Cohen right here at the Harlem School of the Arts at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 20th. There'll be $10 suggested donation, which directly benefits the Harlem School of the Arts Summer Camp. And 2 years ago, we raised over $2,000 that evening here in the room. We will do better in 2025. And we ask you to please RSVP on our website as the room has a capacity. Finally, we want you to mark your calendars, please, for the opening reception for the 23rd Uptown Art Stroll. It will take place on Friday, May 30th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Forum on 125th Street and Broadway. The event is free and open to the public. Like the poster contest, we ask you to please help us spread the word to your contacts. And our gratitude goes out to the West Harlem Development Corporation for its benevolence to help make the pre-stroll concert and the stroll opening reception possible. And in closing, on behalf of our entire staff at the Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance, we wish everyone a heartfelt best for the holiday season and a prosperous and vibrant new year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, Donna Walker-Kuhn, President, Walker Communications Group.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
It's wonderful to be here. Chuck, is it clear? Or you go? Is that? Okay. So I am delighted to be here as always, and congratulations, Americans. Oh my goodness. So very briefly, I just wanted to share with you about 2 exciting opportunities. You probably already know about it, but just want to reiterate. Of course, we have Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. He's now in their season at City Center. And you know, what is so wonderful about Alvin Ailey, they're over 60 years, number one, but also the company is at its height. The performances are incredible. So please take the time to see them. They're performing through January 5th. And of course, with the recent loss of Judith Jamison, the company is really dancing in tribute to her and really honoring the legacy she created. So we invite you to come and see Alvin Ailey. What's been very exciting for my team is that we've been working with the Whitney Museum of American Art, and they have an exhibition called Edges of Ailey. How many of you have been able to see it, Edges of Ailey at the Whitney?
Well, I can tell you I'm really excited about it.
Great. It's absolutely brilliant. And so Edges of Ailey at the Whitney Museum has a number of great experiences and opportunities for the public, and they've made tickets and prices very accessible. We have the free Friday nights every Friday. It's free, but it's also a party. when you come. There's music, there's fun. It's an incredible way to experience the visual arts and learn more about Alvin Ailey, the impact that Alvin Ailey had on the arts in all aspects, particularly the visual arts. And then we have free second Sundays, which is geared more for families. So if you want to come spend the day, bring the kids, you can come and enjoy the arts as well as workshops, really fun things. And then for anybody under the age of 25, it's free any day. That just doesn't get much better than that. So I think there's a video clip you can show for the free 25 and under. Do you have that? Oh, maybe not. Okay. We'll keep going.
Well, I can tell you I'm really excited about what's happening here at the Met. Flight into Egypt is a fascinating exhibition. It is a story that has not been told. And I think that this exhibition...
Not yet. We're almost at the Met. But we're finishing up Edges of Ailey because there's one other component that our wonderful Rosa Rivers has been a part of. The Whitney Museum had an idea to invite people to write a letter to Mr. Ailey about how his life has influenced their work. And so this is called Letters to Mr. Ailey. And Rosa Rivers participated in that, but all of you had the opportunity to write something as well. So these letters, to Mr. Ailey, called Alvin Ailey and Me, are going to be projected all around the country in different venues. And the goal is to have 20,000 letters from people, all kinds of people who just say, Alvin Ailey's life encouraged me or allowed me to do the following. So I think we have a video clip of that. Next. But if not, we want to continue. So that concludes the Whitney Museum offering. The complimentary tickets, the access to things, Ailey and Me coming to have a great time to see Edges of Ailey, as well as to get your tickets to see Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. The second arts organization I wanted to talk about is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I know we go there all for various different exhibitions, but this one that they have now, it's incredible. Flight into Egypt. We all have these different ideas about Egypt and the history of it. This is curated by someone who just really took the time to give us an accurate history of it and connect it to Black contemporary life. So we encourage you to go to the Metropolitan Museum. We have flyers in the background. We also have complimentary passes that you can go. You know what I'm loving about the museums? They're making admission free. It's just great. So the arts are really becoming much more accessible. So there is an interview here, a quick clip of Flight into Egypt. I'd like you to see. Keep going to the next one.
Well, I can tell you I'm really excited about what's happening here at the Met. Flight into Egypt is a fascinating exhibition. It is a story that has not been told. And I think that this exhibition examines and presents for the first time this deep relationship of Black artists with ancient Egypt. Black artists have been looking towards ancient Egypt for decades as a source of inspiration, as a source of symbolism. And with it comes an understanding of also the deep connection that Black scholars, Black archaeologists, musicians, theoreticians had with ancient Egypt. So all in all, it's basically a long story of discourse, a long story of inspiration, a long story also of artistic camaraderie in that context. It's not only, so to say, an exhibition, but at its very center, it has an integrated performance center, where the exhibition will change, will transform, will interact, and where you will have a lot of different performers, musicians, artists use that stage to further express themselves. There is so much energy, so much passion, so many new ideas that now come to the fore. The Met is something that you can experience anew every day.
So we're inviting you to join us on 2 specific dates. Flight into Egypt at the Metropolitan Museum on Friday, January 17th from 6 to 9. We invite you to come and join us there. We're going to have great opportunity to see the exhibition. And then for the Edges of Ailey on January 31st, we're going to have a panel discussion of Broadway artists whose lives have been affected by Alvin Ailey. And then we're going to salute our LGBTQ community on January 31st. All of these wonderful things to do to enjoy New York and the arts. I look forward to seeing all of you there. And thank you so much, Lieutenant, for the opportunity. Harlem Arts Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. So, just so that you all remember, people under 25 can get into the event for free. I will be celebrating the 29th anniversary of my 25th birthday. I'm showing up. Next, Richard Pelza, Project Manager at Harlem Fine Arts Show.
Thank you very much, Rosa. Thank you very much, Katrina. Isaiah, great job. Actually, I did that video for Donna, so sorry about that, Donna, because I put it on a reel. So I'm going to ask Isaiah, if you just, when you put up my video, just stop it at the first part. Yeah, just hold it there, and then and it'll run right after when I tell you.
Black art means to me.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard E. Pelzer II. Can you guys hear me now? Yes. Okay. Richard E. Pelzer II. I wear a number of different hats. So I am the founder of Harlem CLX, which is Create, Learn, and Experience. We just talked about creativity, and that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. So we actually create, we connect, and we collaborate. And that's what Harlem CLX is really all about. I'm also work with Don Walker Hume at Walker International Communications Groups as an associate, so I'm very excited about that. About 9 years ago, she tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, I would like for you to support me and let's actually work together. And 8 wonderful years, I got a chance to actually take my journey on theater and now in the museum world as well. I'm also the interim general manager of the Harlem Fine Art Show. And now, Isaiah, you can press play. Oh, he's coming.
Black art means to me, it's just a reminder of God, our Father, because it's a gift. So it is encompassed with our heritage and a reminder of who we are. But more than anything, it's Him. This event has made my heart burst with joy. I've enjoyed working with artists, connecting with them, seeing our artwork and just being around my people. I love being around my friends.
So the Harlem Wine Show actually is celebrating its 17th year. It was founded by I've been working with the organization for the past 24 months. I have another 36 months on my contract. Hopefully you guys will be able to come out and to support us. We're going to be at the Glass House next year, February the 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd. The reason I'm trying to move pretty fast is because I know it's another video, so I wanted to make sure that I can kind of catch it. But there are flyers in the back. There is 3 days. I'm very excited and happy that the Harlem Arts Alliance actually has a booth this year.
Black art.
Black art, black art, black art, black art.
Oh, that's an easy question, beloved.
Black art is just a way for us to reclaim ourselves in a market that has been directed towards us.
Black art to me is an experience, and that experience comes from being surrounded by a community of other Black artists who also have that experience and share their experiences within that community.
Black art is collaborative, it's community, it's also representing and honoring the past.
It's just a reminder of God, our Father, because it's a gift, so it is encompassed with our heritage and a reminder of who we are, but more than anything, it's Him.
Black art is life.
This year we have over 100 different artists from around the world. We're really excited about it. Our hashtag is Buy Black Art. Most people actually say, how can we support? We ask you to buy some Black art. If you have any questions, by all means, I will be around, and there are some flyers in the back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Next, we have Yarina Ribbons, Executive Director, ICE Theater of New York.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
So I'm Yarina Ribbons, I'm the Executive Director of ICE Theater of New York, but before I talk about my organization, I want to remind you for the Metropolitan Museum, if you are a New York City resident, you can give any amount and get in. And if you have your New York City ID card, you can get a free membership for a year. Go to the museum. So ICE Theater of New York is an ice dance company. So we dance on ice with knives on our feet. We're dangerous. We're a repertory company, different from commercial ice shows or from competition. We're the first nonprofit ice dance company that received funding from NISCA, the Department of Cultural Affairs, and so forth. And we try to establish ice dance as a performing art. We just performed our winter holiday show at Riverbank State Park, and some of you were there. And it was a packed house, it was fun, and we had some council members attending, Yusuf Salam, Sean Abreu, and we also had Jordan Wright there, and then the dignitaries from the park, so it was really nice. We, thanks to the Harlem Community Development Corporation, were able to put some advertising in the Amsterdam News, and we also were able to hire one of the Harlem Alliance members, Amina Salam, to do the video. So she hasn't finished that one yet, so she sent me a draft, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you some pictures. That's the group at the end. Do I click? That is the Riverbank Skating Group, the local. We have a lot of kids coming to participate. This is our professional ensemble. This is a group from Skyring, of our professional performers. This is the young ladies from figure skating in Harlem. More of our performers. This is a young man, Emmanuel Safer. He's on his way to U.S. Nationals. He's still a competitor. He's an absolutely incredible performer. These young people are junior world ice dance champions and have been apprentices with us for like 10 years. They started with us at Riverbank when they were like little kids. It was really cute. This is a discipline called synchronized skating. And these young ladies are from the Skyliners, which is a New York group. This is our holiday message. I think we have a video, right, of last year's holiday show? With Abstract Vision has made of this year, so I'll be sharing that next time we come. We're delighted to do programming at Riverbank State Park already for 31 years now, and one of our signature outreach programs is called the New Works and Young Artists Series. It's a free program for New York City public school students. They come, they watch a short show, and then they get to do a free skating clinic. And I think we have a short video of that one.
It was very much engaging for them that they could come out of the classroom and still have that mentality that I'm learning something new. And although they didn't try those stunts or those moves on there, you can sense that what they saw, they tried to emulate.
The show was fantastic. I'm so happy that students were able to see this.
It was really amazing. I really liked it a lot because I've never seen figure skating before in person. My favorite part was the little kids mainly skating. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
I felt that it was really inspiring, and it kind of inspired me to try to skateboard. And the teachers helped, because I used to burping the walls all the time, and now I can kind of skate.
I think it's an experience like this. You don't get to see much of the ice skating, they don't get to take part in this kind of activities. So for them to be able to be in this arena and actually see professionals doing it inspires them. And the fact that they actually are doing it with them takes it to another level. So we're super happy to have them here today.
I really appreciate it.
So every year we serve about 1,500 students in Brooklyn, in Harlem, and then also downtown and in Queens. So if you know any schools that would be interested in participating, there's flyers in the back and we would love to host them. The last video I brought is of our artistic programming, and we are only 40 years old, not quite 60. But we'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary on 5/5/25, Cinco de Mayo, here we come. So our artistic programming, like I said, is trying to be dancing as an art form, not just as a competition, sport. So let's take a clip at a look at the clip. you, and I hope you'll come watch us perform sometime.
Thank you, Irene. And congratulations on 40 years of service coming up next year on May 5th. Jared Leak, Park Director, and Zakima Batson, Cultural Recreation Complex Manager, Denny Farrell, Riverbend State Park.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
This room, James, who are you, James? Still this room carries well. I'm usually not as loud spoken as I am, but this room is like really helping me amplify. I'm standing here so I can see the screen, so I'm going to turn my back to you. First and foremost, I want to thank Rosa, Katrina, TJ, who are my partners, my adopted parents, uncles, aunts, family. They helped me transition into the space. I'm the park director at Denny Farrell, Riverbend State Park. I've been there since July 2014. Not 60 years, but I'm going on 16 months. It's been a fantastic journey. I'm from Harlem, born and raised. I'm part of the community. For me to transition into this public sector has been an amazing transition, and I've been able to have all of my family, friends, and community support me in that transition. I'm going to go a little bit longer than 5 minutes. I'm going to be honest and transparent up front because coming into these spaces, you come here to present information, but you always get inspired. I came here and I saw that picture on the wall, and that represents who I am as a person. I played basketball all my life. I had the privilege of getting a scholarship to Harvard University, and coming back to work in Harlem and bringing those lives together is truly amazing. And to see that, I'm going to connect with that artist and find out if I can get, I probably can't afford to buy one, but I'll get a replica. He can probably print something out on an 8.5 by 11. But either way, I want to make sure I preserve that to make sure I kind of understand what's important here. Community is very important. Let me ask a question. How many of you live in Harlem or live in New York City in a 3-story walk-up, as opposed to a mansion? How many of you have been to Denny Farrell Riverbend State Park? How many of you have a backyard in your apartment or house? Okay, only 3 hands. I'm going to ask again, how many of you have been to Denny Farrell Riverbend State Park?
All right.
That is your backyard.
All right.
We don't have big backyards here because we live in brownstones or apartments, but we have a 28-acre facility right on Riverside Drive and 145th Street. That is your backyard of Harlem. Whether you call it Harlem's backyard or the Heights backyard, depending on where you're from, Latino community, Black or African American community, from downtown, we are the backyard of Harlem. So I want everyone to feel like it's part of the community. And what I've tried to do here with my partners, and I'll introduce somebody who's very special, just joined the team, we've tried to continue to build community. The village that I grew up in Harlem raised us. Most of you knew my parents. If I did something wrong, they would know before I knew they knew. That was how we held each other accountable. And that continues to happen here in Harlem. So, as a director, I'm going to go through a couple of programs just to show you what we have going on at Riverbend. The first is we had an amazing senior social. This past December was the last of the year. A group by the name of TST came. We had 410 people and patrons come out. Seniors come out every month, have a phenomenal time. That was the most people that we were able to host in our 800-seat Robert Frederick Smith Center for Performing Arts, and we will continue to do these things on a monthly basis. This is our fall and winter guide. We just had winter registration, we just wrapped up. We have tons of programs at the park. I wanted to make sure many people know of Riverbend, but do not know the breadth of what we offer at the park. We have senior and adaptive programs, and this is all only in cultural arts. We have a skating rink, which we just talked about. We have a gymnasium, and we also have an aquatics complex, which is currently closed for renovation, but it will be open up soon again. So for senior adaptive, 62 and over, chess, intermediate drawing, line dance, guitar, beginner drawing, keyboard, routines, Latin dance, belly dance, Sunday salsa, ballet, dance ballet, art workshop. It's for youth 7 to 14, hip hop expression, chess, beginner keyboard, for little kids 4 to 6, ballet, rhythm, kids, arts and crafts. So we cater to anyone from the age of 0, I guess not 0 because you're not here yet, but from 1 month, 9 months, all the way up to 90 years. So it's an amazing community. It's truly inspiring to see everyone come together across generations. This is athletics, but it's an important program because we just introduced it. Many are asking about pickleball. We offer that for adults as well as seniors. The holiday pop-up program. Once again, we have a tremendous holiday season ahead of us. Tonight, we're doing Side on the Hudson, which is a Latino-based celebration around the holidays. We're going to have a DJ, 3 DJs actually, and performers. And once again, we've been able to strike that balance between having programming that cater to all people of different backgrounds within the community. And that's something that we're truly proud about. And we want to continue to establish these relationships here at these types of meetings in town halls. We also are working with Gwendolyn Black. This weekend on the 21st, we have a full slate of activities from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. where we're going to have arts and crafts workshops where you can make stockings, you can make holiday decorations. We will then be decking the halls of Riverbank and singing and bringing in carolers. We're going to go through each complex to spread holiday cheer. And then we're going to have a jazz performance. Once again, Gwendolyn Black is bringing that to our phenomenal facility. And then we're going to have Live on the Hudson, which is a karaoke, holiday karaoke, which will end the night from 6 to 9 p.m. We also have the presentation of Scrooge on Sunday the 22nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Then we have a Wonder Parks puppet presentation on Monday the 23rd from 2 to 3 p.m. That's right between our public skating, ice skating sessions, which happen from 11 to 2 and 3 to 6. And we also have partnered with Comedy in Harlem and the Harlem Bomb Shelter, which is also part of the Harlem Arts Alliance, to do comedy on the 27th and also do spoken word poetry workshop and open mic on the 29th, which is coming up on Sunday of this month. So once again, tons of programs going on. All of our flyers are in the back, so if you're interested in anyone, myself and Zakim, I'm going to introduce shortly, will be here to talk more about it while we enjoy lunch. And also, we have a full set of activities across all the complexes for the holiday. I'm going to introduce someone who just joined the team, the newest member of the Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park team, Kima Batson. She's a Harlemite. She went to Hampton. I can't get away from people who went to Hampton. They kind of like follow me. I know Thomas, James has a son there. TJ went to Hampton. Zakima went to Hampton. My best man at my wedding went to Hampton. So for some reason I went to Harvard, but somebody was saying I probably should have gone to Hampton. But like I said, the real issue was in the house. The other issue was so I'm going to introduce her. She's the newest member. She will talk to you about the New Year programs. She is now leading up the cultural complex at Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park, so giving much needed bandwidth to be able to continue to build relationships with much of the community. I do want to shout out really quickly Barbara Jones, who's here in the back, always on her laptop. She's doing something with us in partnership. We are trying to preserve swing dance and Lindy Hop in Harlem, where it started. We're going to use our space to make sure we do that. We've also partnered with Michael Green, who's done a fantastic presentation at the meeting. Janera from the I-State of New York. So there's so many relationships that we've been able to establish here, and we look to continue to do that to open up the doors to our space at our wonderful facility. One thing I want to reiterate is the Robert Frederick Smith Center for Performing Arts is important to us. He donated a lot of money to refurbish the space. He is a very, very charitable man that we should all know. The same way we talk about Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center, we want to make sure we don't just call it the theater at Riverbank. We want to call it by its name, the Robert Frederick Smith Center for Performing Arts. And I think over time you will start to understand why. Give us some time, but we are going to reestablish that relationship. But it's phenomenal to have someone like that to be able to support the park and our agency. So with that said, I'll introduce Zakima. She will go through some of the programs for the new year. And once again, thank you all, and we look forward to the partnership for the new year.
Good morning. I don't know how I follow that. He's a natural, but like he said, I am from Harlem. I am new to Riverbank. I I worked in the field of recreation for many years, over 20 years, and so I am happy to be back in Harlem and back home and running the cultural complex over at Riverbank. He went through most of the activities that we have for the rest of December. We're working on our schedule for January and February. These are just some that we have solidified. So we have our senior socials. Like he said, our December one was probably one of the best. It was my first one and it was very successful. So the goal is to keep it going. It is an event that we host on the third Thursday usually of every month. We invite individuals out to party, to dance, to mingle, to eat. And so we have 3 lined up for January, February, and March. We already have the entertainment set up for the next 2. The flyer is back there. We welcome anyone. If you are looking to bring 6 or more individuals, we ask that you call so we can give you a table. If not, and it's just you and a couple of friends, just pop on in. All of the events are free. This is going to be the entertainment for our first one. Barbara and Riverbank have partnered to do the Harlem Dance Exchange. Our first one was on the 14th. It was extremely successful. We were happy to see individuals coming out for the free Lindy Hop lessons, and then after, it turned into a big dance party. I think people were doing the Soul Train line, and we were line dancing. Once again, we are looking to grow this. So once again, free event, free Lindy Hop lessons. After that, it turns into a social event. Come on out and enjoy yourself. The greenhouse. We have a partnership with the Hort organization, and they are housed on the Riverbank property. They offer free cooking classes. They offer for you to grow your own vegetables and fruits and things of that nature. So the information is also in the back. They are looking for individuals to come out and come to the greenhouse, come to the garden, grow vegetables, pick fruits. So please come out at any time. This is the schedule for December, January, and February. We are also in the process of starting our community garden for the next 2 years. So the lottery will be on February 15th, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, February 15th. It is about 65 slots or plots that will be raffled out to individuals in the community. It is offered to anyone, but anyone in the 31 and 32 zip code, they will have preference to get an extra ticket in the lottery, but it will be for 2 years from the 25th to the 26th season. Once again, those individuals who are chosen will have access to the community garden. You will get a plot and you are allowed to grow your fruits and your vegetables for 2 years. And this is our information. Please visit us on our social media handles, as well as coming by the park. Once again, we have flyers in the back. All of the pop-up events that we offer are free to the community, so please spread the word. Once again, they are for all ages. We try our best to provide programming for all ages. I, once again, am managing the cultural department, so a lot of our activities are happening in our theater, but we would love for you guys just to come to the park, enjoy the park, know that it's there, because me being someone from Harlem, I knew that Riverbank was there. I had no idea about all of the events and activities that they do offer. So please come by, come see us, engage. And as the manager of the cultural building, we are trying to bring new entertainment and new things to the community. So if you have art you would like to put on display, or you have a performance that you'd like, the theater holds 700 or more individuals. So if you have a dance company that you would like to put on a performance for the community, or a play or a drama class that wants to come out and put on a show, please reach out to us, because we are always trying to fill the theater and to use the stage. So that's it, that's all I have. Thank you.
presenter, Toya Takoya, founder, Gravity of Love.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, PJ. It's always honor to be here. And I'd like to talk, as always, I'd like to talk about our musical, Gravity of Love. And today, it's so special because we have my partner, Mr. Joe Coleman, great lyricist and performer, and special young actress, Mrs. Hirano.
I'm not sure if I like the fact that you emphasize that young thing like that. Thank you again. Yeah, my name is Joe Coleman. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I was kind of filled up a little bit about the presentations today because there was so much conversation about love and community, bringing people together, which is the whole place that we're trying to go with this musical project, is to remind people that we are, in fact, all one people. We are a community. We are each other, and we represent one another in ways that we probably don't even realize. But I performed here a few times with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Roy Merriweather, Grammy-nominated pianist, fine pianist. And so when I walked in and they played that first video and I saw the old configuration with the platform, the three-tiered platforms and the pods around it, that was what was happening when I performed here back at that time. And the other piece is that my very best friend, Rose is very familiar with the gentleman, Mr. Morris McWilliams. His two granddaughters attend this school, the HAA. In fact, Brent is a student here, and Brooke is an advanced dance student here. So there's a lot going on here that we need to be proud of. But again, we're here to talk about this musical called The Gravity of Love, which is kind of the byproduct of Mr. Toya Takoya, his mom, really. His mother was Japanese, of course, and she was unfortunately involved in the bombings in Japan, the nuclear bombings, and she lived through that process. And she always talked to Toya about the devastation of war and the need for people to find a way to come together and not go back to that very horrific and horrendous place where people's lives were lost and destroyed, and so that's how we got here. And then this particular, Toya contacted me about 3 years ago now. Is it? Yeah, about 3 years ago, and they had these ideas and these songs. He had already written the music for this musical piece, Gravity of Love, and he asked me if I would come in and write the lyrics. And so I sat with him over a course of many days, and as he explained to me the concept of what he wants to do, because it was sound totally music. There's no dialogue, no written word other than the words that I wrote. So I basically kind of wrote the book, you would say, for this piece. And so I had to really gain a real understanding of what he was trying to say and present with each song. And this song right here is the one most recently written, and it's called I Want to See You. Now, he emphasized the young piece because the person singing along with this very wonderful young lady who's one of Toya's students, they're in the garden. It's kind of the beginning of time, and there's no war, there's no destruction, there's no hate, there's only love, peace, and joy And it's just a very simple thought. And so that's what this song's about. And it's the person normally that would be singing this, even though I am very young, even though, let us be clear, I am very young, but would be younger, you know, in years. But we're going to see what happens. What do you want to do? You ready? Okay, let's see. I want to see you. Isn't this world such a beautiful place? I wake up each morning just to see your face. I see the sun rising as I look around. You can feel the love growing right out of the ground. I wanna see you. You're the air that I breathe. Let's call this place heaven and never leave.
This feels like heaven when your heart filled with love. It seems like we're connected by the stars above. If you'll be my Adam, then I'll be your Eve. No hate, no war, no jealousy. It's ours to conceive.
I'm not sure where we're going, but as long as I know I got you by my side, I can find my way home, 'cause I wanna see you tonight. I wanna see you, baby, yeah. Isn't this world such a beautiful place? I wake up each morning just to see your face. I see the sun rising as I look around. You can feel the love growing right out of the ground. I wanna see you. I wanna see you. I wanna see you. Thank you so much. Thank you for very much. Glad to be together. Susie, my good friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's have some fun. Can we have some fun? Yeah. We're going to do a special presentation. We want to see this book, this amazing book. And that. Hold on, 1 second. So we are going to do some trivia. And whoever gets the right answer first will win this amazing Ailey book, the bag from Edges of Ailey. If you were to go to the Whitney Museum, this would cost you $150. If you get the right answer first, it will be free to you. Okay. So, we are going to play a clip, but before we play the clip, I want you to pay attention. So we're going to play a short clip from the Edges of Ailey exhibition teaser, courtesy of the Whitney Museum. Pay close attention because it holds the clue to our trivia question. Now the question is, and don't Google it, I'm watching. The question is, what prop was used in the final section of Judith Jamison's iconic solo cry? Go. What? Go. Oh my goodness, everybody saw it? She's first. You were first. She threw her hand up and she had the right answer.
I went to Alien as well.
She had a little edge up, but come on, sis. Come get your bag.
And I'm a professional dancer, and I have flyers.
She studied for the pop-up quiz.
Dancer concert, Theater for the New City, January 10th through the 12th, as well as the 17th through the 19th. Come see the Thunderbird. I'm an American Indian hoop dancer, one of the few women who do it on the East Coast. And I happen to have run the what was initially NEC Arts / Open Artists at the same time as Boza was running. It was a very small portion of Riverside Church. You know, many people did wonderful things out of it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Listen, I'm going to call Joanna Castro up, and she's going to tell you something good.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes. I love that accent. You guys have been practicing. So my name is Joanna Castro. I'm the Director of Programs at the West Harlem Development Corporation. Unfortunately, our Executive Director, Sierra Ramadan, and Emma Sakafio, our Special Projects Coordinator, have not been able to be here in person, yet they send their regards. So I just wanted to say two quick things. One, again, congratulations to New Heritage Theater Group and Vosa Rivers and his team. Congratulations to Harlem School of the Arts, James C. Gordon and his team. And congratulations to Jasmine Beal, Robin Bell Stevens, and her team. They are all amazing institutions here in West Harlem, in the state, and I dare say the country. 60 years is a super big deal. We know that many organizations start, flounder, some stay, some don't. So the fact that they're here is absolutely amazing. Selfishly, it brings a special place in my heart because they're also grantees of WHDC. I also feel like we should play the lotto. 6-0, I love 3, so might be a good night to play the lotto tonight. The other quick thing I wanted to mention, as a celebration of today, of the last HAA Town Hall of the year, the celebration of 3 wonderful organizations. We are sponsoring a luncheon, some bites, so we hope that you stay, mingle. And last but not least, I guess technically 3 things, I want to wish you a healthy and joyous holiday season. In 2025, we know what's coming. It's not pretty. I hope that you all recharge, spend time with your loved ones, do what you need to do so that we can start the new year with our foot forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that concludes our Harlem Arts Alliance meeting. Yay! Happy New Year, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday. And for those of you that did present, if we could do a group photo, we'll make it fast because I know you want to get to the food. But we're going to do it really, really quickly. If you can come up and we can just take one quick group photo. Would love that. Thank you again, everyone. And James, thank you for allowing us to have this awesome, awesome gathering.
Fancy meeting you here again. I know. No, I think we're okay. I have to check and see if there's a lot of stuff going in and out. I think it's fine. We better talk about this. We did the 36th, but I never Wait.
more exaggerated. The other thing is don't make they're actually working with a group. That's my,
Is that turkey like I want to? Okay. That's spicy sensation. Yeah, I didn't get into your guy. Thank you.
Johnny, I'm moving to another apartment, and I told the priest to come to bless him at 1 o'clock, and it's 10 after 1. I love that hat. How you doing? What do you want with the outfit? You got that zhuzh going on, brother?
As far as swab,
When you get back. Where did you go? Oh, okay. Don't forget, you're right over there. Go to the floor. I picked it up. Okay, wait a minute. Go to the floor. I picked it up. This is Angel.
It's in February, and I was supposed to announce that, so that's why you're asking me. I didn't do that.
I went to friend house. You know, I'm the
No,
older too.
you don't have to think. Thank you. It's going to be in February.
What do you do?
I will make sure. I promise to sit down in advance. Sometime in January, then we'll just keep the mind
Check your Instagram. I love your hat.
And they both want to see
Yeah, together. Oh, okay. He was part of a Black History exhibition last year.
And we have a shirt together over there tonight.
Right.
And I was in it for them.
We're gonna get next year.
2 and 2. Okay. I'll give you a call and then
You know, when I used to speak, you see what happened? You see this thing here? It's not a package. Yeah. When I worked at Google, they gave me this bag. And I never wore it. And today I was going through stuff. I'm like, okay, let me put something warmer in here. So I put it on. So yeah, that's why they had to. Because it's like, oh, this is a stupid idea. Yeah, what we can just do this and then everything just falls through. All this time we put things in there. Oh my God. Both of them. That's terrible. This should be so underneath.
Hey everybody. Just want to let everyone know that our next Harlem Arts Alliance meeting will be in February. So we will not be meeting in January. TJ, sorry, I was supposed to say this. But the next meeting is February 2025.
You remember now.
That's my little ticket.
Yeah.
right. I saw it on the news a couple of days ago. No one knows, but I think it's so exciting. You heard about it? The girls that dance here, they got some of the rock actors. So now they're rock
Absolutely. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Yes. You all out? So I'm supposed to be getting you some information? Yeah. Boogie Down Bronx right here. This is us. Prince Cumberbatch. Prince Cumberbatch in the house. And you, no. That was great. But you need to see his art. That's different.
When they sign it, it's like, you know, we don't used to write in
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
You know how we do it.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. That's a song. I don't know where it's from, right? But you got it on Instagram. It's your birthday. Ready, baby? That's how we close it out.
I said, what is it?
No, I already. Listen,
Yeah, y'all. So, we look, we make sure everything's good. Just want to say thank you to everybody coming through and tuning into the live. This will be rebroadcast to our friends over at Harlem Arts Alliance. And as far as me personally, y'all know what I told you earlier. We'll be on all weekend. I'm running from when I get in and get set up all the way. We back. We're definitely back. But this will be rebroadcast over to Harlem Arts Alliance YouTube channel. I put all of the links in the live chat, so y'all could go over there and sub to the channel. And until I speak to you guys later, we'll let it run out a little bit more. You guys enjoy yourself. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. And we back on it. We'll let y'all finish out over here. So we finish out the stream.
I